How has the rapid growth of Agile and Scrum impacted the quality of training and certification? So this is, I'm probably going to upset some people, but hey ho. It has and it hasn't impacted it. Okay, it depends where you look. So, what do I mean by that? Well, the Scrum Alliance, and I'm going to assume scrum.org, they have got a standard and they have maintained that standard and they work hard to maintain the standard of their trainers. Okay? When I did my CST, it was hard. It was deliberately hard, it's unapologetically difficult, and it has got an insanely high failure rate, okay, of experienced trainers. So actually, I think that in some sectors, it hasn't impacted it in a negative way. This growth of Agile, this growth of Scrum has allowed people to attract better than before people. It's increased the quality of training. I know when I look back at my CSM was delivered by a fantastic trainer, a lady called Jean Baker. She was brilliant. But the things being done today, many moons later, have moved the bar. They've moved things on. We are better because we have managed to invest in people who are passionate not only about the world of Agile, but about the world of education. They want to help people understand how to get this working in whatever context they find themselves. So I think in some ways, the impact has been positive. But you didn't want to hear about that. You want to hear about the negative. Hi, my name is John McFadgen. I'm a certified Scrum trainer with Scrum Alliance, the managing partner at Agile Centre, and I've been in the Scrum and Agile worlds for over 20 years now. So I can't paint a completely rosy picture. Okay? There are high quality trainers in the Agile world, no doubt about it. There are some excellent educators, deeply knowledgeable about the world of Agile, about the world of Scrum, if that's your cup of tea, who can help you not only understand what it is, but why it's important, when to use it, when not to use it, how to make best use of it in your context, because they've been living and breathing these things for decades. That's not all of them. Okay? When I look out and I look at the internet, and I'm a bit of a nerd, I'll admit it. I do look at the quality of Agile training out there. I'm appalled. It's terrible. Okay? The proliferation of Agile and Scrum has meant more and more people have seen a bandwagon to jump on. And because it is, to paraphrase Scrum, easy to understand, difficult to master, lots and lots of people think they get it. They've never been in a working team. They've never seen this truly fly. Okay? But they've read a book and they've produced a course and they've sold the course. And because they're better marketers than they are Agilists have bought the course. And then they hear a messy message, a mixed idea of good and bad, and they propagate that because it's delivered with confidence, it's delivered with panache. And that, for me, is where the problem comes in. There isn't a bar to clear. Right? If you want to go down the CST route or the PST route, there is a bar. It's difficult. It ensures a quality standard. But when we talk about the teaching and, to a lesser extent that is still there, the certification in the Agile world, you have to ask who's certifying and who's certifying the trainer. There are organizations that have been set up, and I can think of some that profess a knowledge of Scrum that doesn't stack up. They have produced bodies of work that are utter nonsense. And then they've put a Scrum stamp on it and said, this is the Bible of Scrum. And they've got money behind them. They've invested, they've marketed, and they've attracted people who don't know better. They're snake oil, right? Snake oil salesmen. They're the people that I utterly despise in our world. They have no interest in the adoption of Agile, in helping people understand this, understand where it's appropriate, where it will work, where it won't work, how to make it work for you. That's not their job. Their entire job is separating you from your money as quickly and as seamlessly as possible, right? They have worked out that there is a market and they've entered our market. And we as a community didn't police that. We as a community didn't know it was happening until after it was happening. And when it did, we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't know how to protect our borders. We didn't know how to say, this is good and this is bad. And that has caused us issues. Okay? So really what I see when it comes to training and certification, and I'm happy to talk about coaching separately, but not right now, okay, is in the main, if you look at the average delivery, the average knowledge of the trainer, it has dropped. Not because the great bodies that are out there, and I'm not only going to say the Scrum Alliance, there are more than just that, have established, a lower bar. They've increased their bar over time. They are requiring a higher and higher standard of their trainers so that you are getting a better and better delivery of often foundational material, but the building blocks to work from, the inspiring conversations that you can have that trigger that idea, that set you off. Okay? That's not the issue. The issue is simply there are so many people who are unqualified who have entered the world. They have created their own certifications. They have no skin in the game. They have no knowledge to talk of. They have no experience of doing this in a way that anybody with deep decades of work in the area would recognize. But they can sell a good story. They can build a pretty website. They might even run a nice to attend training course. But they don't know what they're talking about. It's free to enter. I have seen so many people who match that description. Come in, start delivering training, and they sell it to people who don't know any better. Now, I'm not going to talk about the intentions behind it because some people do it with good intentions. They're just misinformed. They're misguided. They think they know what they're talking about. They think that they're doing a good thing. Good old Dunning-Kruger. They're up at that peak. But they're not. But there's no way of checking. And this all, for me, is about our inclusive nature as a community. And I see much, much good in it. But we have to recognize where there's good, there's invariably some bad. And because we've been so inclusive, because we have wanted to welcome people in and help them understand this way of working, this way of thinking, we haven't thought about the opportunists or the people who pick up the wrong string and run off with it. So I think overall, sadly, the quality has come down. But you can do a good job. You can, and in fact, I would always recommend you do, verify your trainer. What is their experience? Are they coming from a reputable professional body? Okay? Can you find people who are the famous, for want of a better phrase, in the Agile world, who have been or are currently aligned with these bodies? Okay? Because they put in their name, they're putting their reputation against them, says something. Or are they, and again, I can think of some, people you've never heard of. People that you can't find anything in the conferences, in the literature, in social media, talking about Agile and Scrum, not the training courses, I mean doing it. Can they point to a body of work about doing it and helping others do it?